This is another great example of Invisalign First just yielding an amazing result with so much more ease and comfort than the traditional palatal expander. And also, in my view, a more comprehensive correction. Let me show you what I mean. On the left is how the patient started. Now, you can notice that there was some crowding in a V shape to the upper arch, some rotations of these teeth. The lower teeth were crowded. Lower teeth, in my orthodontic history of 30 years, I usually would just wait until phase two and not even address this at the early age. Um, and then transversely, we don't have a crossbite on either side. We do have some overjet, and I alluded to the narrowing of the anterior maxilla. And you can make a case as a little bit of posterior narrowing, but again, not to the point where we have any kind of posterior crossbite or severe crowding. This case would so often be used with a palate expander, which is a skeletal expansion tool, which is robust and effective, no doubt. But so many cases fall into this aspect where we don't really require a robust skeletal expansion, and so either a patient would suffer with an appliance, and I wouldn't say suffer, but endure a difficult appliance, a great appliance, but one that really was overkill for what they needed, or I might have done nothing till they were older, and that still is possible. But instead, I gave this dental expansion, and what I want you to see is how much wider the arc is. Now, when I say dental expansion, it's not like we got pure tipping of the buccal segments and I did the lower, and look at the lower is lined up nicely. But if you look transversely, you do not see any sort of whopping posterior open bite. This is a highly functional occlusion. This is upper and lower together, and it took 22 weeks. No parents turning any device, nothing stuck inside a fixed expander. Kids are super cooperative with this. Most are when they're 7, 8 years old. It was a time when they wanted colors and braces. Now they want to look like adults, and adults have Invisalign more than braces these days. So I love Invisalign First. There is something called an Invisalign palatal expander that we've gotten into. But again, I'm using those for the cases that I needed the skeletal expansion and seeing how that's playing out. And early results are great. But this is an Invisalign First appliance for interceptive treatment where you need arch expansion and alignment and anterior bite correction.